G'day everyone, and welcome back to my garbage truck. I am trying to decide right now whether I am going to try and make the cab flip forward now, or whether I just leave it. It's a tough call. On the topic of Space Engineers 2, as it was just asked in chat, yes, of course I'll be getting it. No, that doesn't mean that I recommend that everybody get it. If you aren't someone who can play a creative mode game and have fun with it, then it's probably not got enough there for you. But if you are someone who can play a creative mode game and have a lot of fun with it, then maybe it will. But even Keen themselves have been saying, wait. Why do I have 3 of these? And which one is the proper one? Why do I have 4 of these? Okay, I am going to get rid of you. It's definitely not you. I'm going to get rid of the mirror. I don't want to keep too many of these around because performance-wise is probably not a great idea. You're also outdated because you don't have the little bull bar bit. And you, I think, are just a duplicate, so we'll just keep you for the moment. I think I'm gonna have to leave the front so it doesn't pop open. The main reason is I'll have to cut it somewhere here and I don't know where, and I also think I'm also not sure which part of the mudguard moves and which doesn't. So I'm hesitant to do anything much there. What I thought I'd do next is maybe start trying to design the bin at the back so we can actually tip some stuff in. And actually do some collecting. So I think the start of that is going to be getting rid of these, as the back section is going to need to be attached on its own separate piece. And I'll probably want to use a large grid hinge for that as well. Now I just need to quickly get up my picture of a garbage truck. Where is one? There we go. All right. This one's a bit bigger than what I'm making, I think, but gives the rough gist. So I probably want to maybe get it so I can see chat. That would help. Trying to decide whether the hinges should be placed here or whether they should be a block higher. I think they're fine there. I think they're fine. Medium hinge head. I'm aware that these trucks don't necessarily tip the back up, but within the limits of Space Engineers and using Rule of Cool, I think it's better if this does. because using a piston to push stuff out of the back is going to be tricky, and having any sort of compactor isn't really going to work. So having something that's can tip and make everything just fall out is probably better. No, I don't want to use grinders because this is meant to, like, the idea of this is to have it look interesting as it's functioning, which means all the parts need to still remain physics objects. Hey, Zero. I should really put on some symmetry. At least for part of this. Oh, Phil. Okay. This is going to be a lot of blocks. Making this in small grid. This is going to be so many blocks. Oh boy. Yes. Another top quality garbage stream. Actually, that's what the stream title should be. Top quality garbage stream. Done. Now, since I have changed stream things, over to a top quality garbage stream. And I'll just post that. Yeah, cast. And then run. Am I making Optimus? Ah, actually, I had a thought on making Optimus, and maybe that'll be a thing I do in the future. After I finish the garbage truck, there are some other things I would like to do, and Optimus may well be one of the things that makes it onto that list eventually. So, yeah. Oh man, I had an idea yesterday, I didn't write it down. Oh, what was it? I felt like I had a really good idea for a build stream like this. Oh no. No! Hopefully it'll come back to me. No, I do not have to bring Cat back in for the Optimus stream. Not when the jerk went and built his Optimus Prime without me and wasted. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh-uh. Oh, that wasn't happy. Gonna make a backhoe. That's like that sort of excavation equipment is certainly something that I'm considering, but there was something else. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Oh, that's so annoying. I had what I thought was a really good idea, but I didn't have my phone handy at the time, so I couldn't write it down. Oh well. It'll probably come to me long after this stream has ended, and hopefully next time it comes to me, my phone will be handy. is that making clanging happen? Weird. So what I'm trying to do now is create some mounts for the mudguards. Because they, I reckon, should probably not move with the back. So I kind of want to have, so this is the floor of the bit that's going to tip, and then I needed another floor below that to put all the other equipment that's not going to tip. But as long as I leave those blocks there, it should be fine. Just debating whether that's high enough, whether I should go another block higher for that to sit. What's going to happen when this tips? Yeah, okay, I'm going to want this higher. Although that's steep enough. But maybe I want the hinges back further. I don't know that I've got the hinges back far enough. Have I built anything with tracks? Yes, I have built vanilla tracks in the past. Have I shown any of those things on a stream? No. But yes, I have made them. They're fiddly. They're really, really, really fiddly. I think I'll put those there. Some hinges to go back here. I'll just do 2 this time. Third one seemed unnecessary. The hinges may not need to be higher, but if the platform itself that's attached to the hinges is higher, it should also create the extra clearance. But moving these blocks back 2.5 meters should make a significant impact as well. Let's go back a bit, and then forward. Azrael, to make a functional sailboat in Space Engineers is awkward. The way the aerodynamics and water mods work, it's technically doable, but it doesn't really work like you would expect it to, or how you would want it to. I've tested things like that a few times, and so's Wasted and a few other people I've spoken to, and yeah, annoyingly, it just doesn't work like you want it to. It's one of the many reasons why I've never played a survival game where we've toyed around much with the water mod, is that a lot of the ideas that you want to do are not possible. You can't build propellers, you can't use keels properly. The only way to use to really make an effective keel, similarly to making an effective vertical stabilizer for a plane, is to use the plane parts or Digi's plane parts mods. So yeah, it's an unfortunate but significant limitation of those mods. Okay. We'll leave that up there. So that gives me an idea of what sort of position I need to put things in. Maybe not that far over. Actually, I should probably put the bin down. Don't really need the bin in its grasp. And it's almost about to fall out. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the things get a little bit angry while the bin's in hand. I'm gonna rough this out. And then I can tighten it up once we're sure it's working. Oops. So the fun part of this is going to be making the slopes. So even in creative mode, they can be a pain. Yeah, I'll do little details like the exhaust and things like that. But I think getting the shape of the bin collection system in first makes the most sense. Because if I start adding details like that and then I have to remove them, that'll be just really annoying. Alright, so should just be able to have this sloped front to back. It shouldn't need to slope any other direction. I wonder if I can do 45s. $20 blocks. Well, this is certainly quicker. And also immediately telling me that 45 is too steep. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I think 45 is too steep. Rezav, I've tried Stormworks. I have not enjoyed it. Stormworks is kind of a great example of a problem I have enjoying games where you don't build in the same environment in which you play. What I mean by that is, in Stormworks, you build in this kind of isolated build state, and then you go and take it into a world. And I really struggle with those games to enjoy them the same way that I do Space Engineers, where you build where physics is already a thing. Kerbal Space Program is probably the prime example of a game that didn't have that problem for me, despite having that limitation. But I've found for me it's kind of rare that that's the case. At least that's my best efforts at articulating where the problem comes from. It may be something else, but that's been my best guess. What? Why are you no place? Nah. Fine. Lonely Guardsman, the difference is that the physics are currently active. Yeah, this is creative, but the physics are active constantly. The physics are there. There's no, oh, I'm building, oh, now I test. Oh, I'm building, oh, now I test. It's just there. It's a thing that just attaches me to what I'm building so much more than not. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to design the other way. I'm saying that for me, it doesn't work. All right, let's test what happens with this. No! Ah. Knew that wasn't likely to work. Do I have enough? No, I don't think I have enough strength in this to do that. Probably should have made the thing strong enough to do that. There we go. Now that's upright, I can copy paste it. I probably should have just done that with one of the other bins. Don't know what I was doing there. I was sort of thinking through the comments in chat and not really thinking about what I was doing. Because I actually need to open the bin lid. I need to put some junk in it. Close enough. Okay. Now, hopefully, I'm close enough to give this a proper test. Just want to see roughly where the bits are going to end up whether they're going to way overshoot on the right-hand side of the truck or not. Okay. They all ended up in. Nice. So I think it'll be fine. I will probably put a bit of an extra coverage on it. Need to see if there's a design a bit closer to the bins that are around here, because they are not as tall as the ones that I've got in that picture. Yeah, they're more like this one. They're more like this. Whereas this other one looks a bit... maybe... They're very similar. Suppose it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Alright, let's find all of the single block grids and remove them. Cool. No exhaust, because I'm not putting those sorts of details in until I've got this back bin area built. Because it's such a large piece of the build that I think it's important to do it first. And then I can fit details in where they fit, rather than building details and then having to remove them because they're in the wrong place. It's a strategic decision, I suppose. I'm just looking at this and being really unhappy with it. What might help if I pick the right color? And I also need to get rid of this frame that I'll put here, because that shouldn't be there. Goodbye. Right, so the way that it looks in the picture, if I follow that, I kind of need to have a bit of a thing there. Then we'll have... Then it's going to need to have a few angular bits that kind of cut in. So I'm having a look at this area here. This area here. So I'm just going to make... I think that bit is angled on the actual truck, but I'm going to just make that flat. And then I'm going to have these bits cut in. And hopefully that'll look decent. Ish. Actually, yeah. Do this. This will make it easier and should still look the part. If I do this as a flat surface coming in, then struck it in again, one more block. And then I can cut in from the front as well. Pop that there and then do some 2x1 slopes from the front. Although I think these need to go this way. I don't know how wide this is going on this far side, so I'm kind of just leaving that open for now. I'll have to figure that out. Might be worth figuring it out now. I'm not sure. No, this bit's asymmetrical relative to the rest of the build. So it's not something I can do with symmetry mode. I mean, I probably could just set up a new symmetry point, but I don't know where that would be, and it's not going to be symmetrical anyway. It's cutting in on one side, but not the other. Oh. I don't know if this was the right choice. How can I do this? Not happy with... I wasn't happy with that. Yeah, I'm using both some images and just, you know, this style of garbage truck has been used where I've lived for a very, very, very long time. So it is one of those shapes I'm very familiar with. Which makes it both easier and harder because you're like, oh, that's not quite right. Or, oh, that bit's not quite right either. And you can... I find I can instantly recognize when I'm like, nope, screwed that bit up. This might have to go a bit weird. Maybe it doesn't matter. Actually, I think I'm being overly pedantic here. This bit doesn't matter. Does not matter. Undo to the rescue. Yeah, I can do a pretty solid Australia from memory. There are just key bits you have to remember. Like Tasmania. Or less than key bits that you still probably should remember, like Tasmania. Yeah, I could absolutely draw a reasonable rendition of Australia from memory. I have confidence in that. I think... Yeah, I think I'll then go 45s. Or maybe even straight down here. the outer surface. All right. I'll take up your challenge. Go on. Sure. Here, I'll even do it with a mouse. Fun mouse pointer. Tasmania is a part of Australia proper. It's a state. Nah. New file. Sure, whatever. Australia is roughly this. Start from top of Queensland, you go down, you bulge out a bit, you come down, you get to Victoria, you go under, there's the Great Australian Bight, then there's the bit over here for WA, it comes up, you got NT, and it comes in, and it goes up, and that, and then you add a little apple for Tasmania down here. That's Australia. Obviously drawn with a mouse, so yeah, not going to be exactly accurate, but it's not going to be too far from it. This bit probably needs to cut in a bit more. No, I don't want screen, I want overlay. Yeah. Not too bad. I reckon that's pretty decent for mouse drawing and being ridiculously broad about it. But yeah, Australia's like it. If I was really concentrating, I would have done the little bit in here for around Adelaide, but you know. The map of Australia is something that's used on a number of different things. So the simplified icon is actually quite common here, which makes drawing it from memory quite easy comparatively to, say, a place that doesn't do that same thing. So like made in Australia things have that little map of Australia on it. So I reckon a lot of Australians would be able to do a very rough map of Australia. For that reason. Because we see the symbol in lots of places. And if you see something like that a lot, you're going to be able to probably draw it from memory. Just do this for now, just in case. Need to have some sort of sloping on the inside. But I'll probably improve the internal slopes once I've got the external shape to a position I'm happy with it. Yeah. I think this is gonna look alright. So next bit, let's chop that short. I'll probably want to put symmetry mode on in a second. A fictional island between Australia and Japan. Hawaii? Okay. Now I'm going to go back to symmetry and do this. Start this from this end. And then bring it forward and make it meet properly. So the funny thing about the shape of the back end of these trucks is that they are slightly rounded. Obviously, this is Space Engineers, so slightly rounded is no. But I think what I'll try and do is maybe put a couple of rows of like 2x1 slope and then I'll do it flat. Just to give a hint at that shape. Aren't all places that are tiny islands not real? Isn't that what we've learnt from New Zealand and Tasmania? Okay, that's not even as wide as the truck. That probably needs to start a bit further out. Oh, it's not going to work. Gonna have to remove them. And do it all properly. Is that going to be wide enough? No, still probably one more. Does that mean TFE is an AI? I mean, if he's an artificial islander, maybe. Oh no, that just gave me a horrible thought. What's going to happen to our maps when Google decides to let the algorithm hallucinate different parts of it? It's going to take us back to when Google Maps first came to Australia and had no idea where anything was, how to get anywhere, and also told people to go frequently down one-way streets the wrong way, or down bus-only roads. It's going to be like driving using Apple Maps. Yeah, I've never tried that. I've heard it was bad, but Google Maps in Australia was terrible when it first came here. Like, truly horrible. They're probably the same experience. I mean, it's good now, but it was awful. It's actually really good now. Because a lot of the stuff that used to be US only has finally came here a few years back. Like integrating with public transport and the like. And with the recent rail strikes in my state, Google's actually been better than their own website. Thanks, Vestigious. Thank you for the 6 months. think that's kind of going to be the best shape I can do. I think trying to add any more rounding is just not possible. And at least it's not going to be just completely square. So it gives it some degree of interest. And once I put any sort of like advertising or signage on the side, it'll be better as well. Taz, there's a bunch of different Prototech encounters. Capac and I did one that I posted as a video right after the Contact update came out. Yeah, I do have a nice big area to draw on. So I've gone 1, 2, 3 down the bottom, 1, 2, 3 up the top. Let's start building the roof then. Which I'm also going to do rounded. Slightly rounded. By that I mean using 2x1 slopes. There's just such a limit to the actual curve like shapes you can do in SE. Like this shape I did on the cab. It's probably one of the larger radius curves that I think is actually a believable curve. Believable is not the word I'm looking for, but I think it conveys the idea close enough. Yeah, I need to go quite a bit further with this. Why? I either have to do this with copy paste and then can't use symmetry, or use symmetry and I can't, and I have to do every block one by one. Probably should have done copy paste. I think that'll do. This might need to go a bit longer, but I think when I put the... I think it might be just because that bit is huge. So I might be able to... It might start feeling right once I make that bit and add it on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, just thinking about details. I think the little grab rails and things like that are going to make a lot of difference to making this look more interesting too. Kern, the scrapyard space stuff should have all of the blocks, but it is RNG dependent. So you may get stuck a little bit waiting for that RNG to serve you what you are looking for. Because the way TFE set up the space stuff, if I'm remembering correctly, he made it so that they would... do you want to do that? So that a random block, like random blocks will get deleted from the builds, which means if they had a jump drive, it may be there, or it may not. It's how I asked him to set it up. So don't blame him, it's just, I think that's how he set it up. I think that's how I asked him to set it up. It was a while ago, I don't fully remember. He might. Because TFE's done a lot of that sort of modding stuff for me. I'm pretty sure it's possible, because I'm pretty sure the Hammerhead, the ship that Capac and I made in my first Grand Tour series, is in there, and it has a damaged jump drive on it. Just trying to cut this bit off. Bring that to there. Now it's all of the asymmetrical bit. I'm trying to make this bit look interesting and good, and I have no idea what the reverse side of that bit of the truck looks like, so I'm just gonna leave it. Something simple. That works. It's less than a month till SE2 is showable to everyone. Playable. Oh no! What have I done? I don't want to do that. I'm still not sure what sort of stuff I want to build in a creative mode build where I don't have pistons and such. Because for me, having all of the mechanical parts is like a huge draw card for building in creative mode. I wonder if there'll be some fun to be had in trying to create not properly functional versions of them out of like thrusters and things. Probably. I think that's kind of what I was imagining. Is there a picture from the other side of the truck? Yeah. So this is probably more, this is more accurately the sort of truck that I see. The cleanaway ones. So they've got still the same rounded sort of shape, but that's a much simpler front end. Maybe I should have gone with that. Like front end of this rear part. Oh, that's an electric truck. Yeah, I don't think we have those around here yet. But it does give a sort of idea of what the other side would look like. So I think what I need to do is also cut in a little bit here. So that bit that I just built was pointless. And instead, come down here. Fill this in. And have this come across flat from where the rounded bit ends. Oops. Cut too much away. Wait, no. No, I didn't. Have to redo the other side if I did that. Ugh. My head is hurting from trying to think this through and trying not to waste too much time by redoing bits over and over again. That comes up here. It goes all the way up to pretty much the top, but we'll stop there. And then if I want to build the roof on this, I would then have it go from there, but I don't think I'm going to. I think what I'm going to do is just have this open, because I feel like that's going to make it much less likely for me to create colliders for the bin mechanism. And I would like to not have it collide with things. Oh yeah, a ladder on this side would probably look good. Yeah, that'd be a good way to break it up. Put an access ladder on this side. They do have a ladder on the other side. So there's a ladder here. But I could put a ladder on it. There's no reason to not have one on both sides. Let's try and break it up. So what I was thinking of doing was this. That's going to be where the front of this gets its shape. Which might well continue all the way out to match the other side and then come down. I think I'll just go to here for now and see how it looks. You know what? I think that looks alright. Like that. Especially once I clean up the visible edges in the other parts. I think that's kind of looking alright. Part of me wants to put some of the little details in, like, what could I use? What would make a decent rivet? The sound block's going to be has that yellow bit on it, which kind of doesn't work for it. Although, actually might have an idea on that. Oh, yeah. There is a full stop, isn't there? In the alphabet. Or symbols, here we go. Yeah, nice one. Oops. Completely invisible at this distance, but whatever. That'll be a nice bit of detail that I can add. We know it's there, that's what matters. Okie dokie. Now how does this go lifting up? Have I made it collide with things? Upper limit should be 0. Lower limit should be probably no more than 35 degrees. Yeah, that looks about right. That's pretty good. I think I am going to build a little bit of this cover over here. Just feels very open. That might be enough to make it feel better. And then, I guess, looking at it, this part is actually more closed than that. A lot more closed. And I just need to make sure the slopes are there. Yeah. We know it's there, that's what matters. Sounds like 90% of miniature painting. I wonder how Capac feels about that with the mini painting that he's been doing on stream lately. Wonder whether he agrees with that statement. Now yes, that's an easy piece. Actually, it's a 45-degree section. Oh, no. Wrong layer got selected. Okay. I think it might be time for another test. See if this actually still works before I get too excited and start adding more details around here. Magic's the Space Engineers 2 is an entirely separate game. It is a full sequel. Which makes sense considering they built an entirely new engine for it. Can't really manage those sorts of costs unless you get new game money from it. For most game makers. Once this bit's done, I can do another test. Just thought probably best not to do a test with the holes. I likely don't need to clean up how the inside of this looks, but I'm going to anyway. Oh, there'll definitely be physics weirdness. Some of the Phantom Force stuff should be gone because the new physics engine... Drat. The new physics engine is much better at handling things that would create Phantom Forces in the current game. But there'll definitely be weirdness that I'm sure people will find. And I reckon there's a pretty good chance people will find it on day one. Just because that's the kind of players that Space Engineers players are. Experimenters, tinkerers, breakers of things to figure out how they work. People who create a gigantic, oddly scaled garbage truck just because it seems like a fun thing to do. Ah! Okay, I might need... spectator cam to see that better. Also, I hadn't really planned on the Capac decoys being the thing that I put in these. They're really heavy. Too many sandwiches. Maybe. Maybe. Let's go with... Yeah, you guys are a lot lighter. You've got weird collisions, so... I know I've got my special ways of placing lots of these, but I'm just really not in the headspace to bother. This'll be enough. When the bin is not too heavy, it does tend to get placed correctly, but when the bin's too heavy, as in the person who loaded it put too much stuff in it, it does go a bit weird, yeah. Where am I? Oh, that worked perfectly. See, nice clean replacement. I mean, the bin lid being open, that's perfectly normal too. I didn't want to put a lip on because the grabber is not super consistent in how it gets hold of the bin, so if it's not perfect, then a lip is actually probably going to cause more issues than save it. Should be a camera on that perspective. Yeah, there probably should be, because the bin, as the truck moves, I need the camera to move with it, don't I? I will certainly add a bunch of cameras around this. I'm sure you guys will remind me to do. As we go. Okay. This is really starting to take shape now. Now, the back section here. Let's have a look at the picture. This has big clamp bits that go all around with a piston to actuate it. Not sure I'm going to go to that level of detail. Because that would, in this instance, require a lot of pistons. And that will get very jiggly. So might be better off if I create a sort of a section here to attach the hinges to. I know I've been doing a lot of this with, you know, ignorance of those sorts of issues, like the doors up the front here. But piston chains, they're a whole other level of annoying. Okay, let's get some hinges in. Oh. Oh, never mind. I actually do want to remove those. They were all around the wrong way. Symmetry mode had done weird. Ah. You want to let me place those? Yes. Yeah. Do I know where they have cameras on the real trucks? No, not really, no. I don't think it really matters. I think having the cameras in the spots where they look cool, as in where they get nice views, is probably most important. That'll be my take on it anyway. Oh. I think what I want to do for the back edge of this is actually bulge it out a little bit. Now that I've decided where the back edge is, I should have made it one block longer, just to make my life easier, but I didn't. So I think this added depth here will make it look much better. Oops. Oh, and I'm not using symmetry. Right, I think that's cleared them up so they match. Phil, I've covered all of that side of things in the third of my beginner tutorial. So if you have a look at that, it'll give you more than just a quick overview of what the upgrade modules do. But yes, they do stack. And there. Yeah, I think that works. Let's put it on the sunny side. Yeah, that's giving it the extra little depth of the area where it clamps together. No, Sund, I did not design the carrier beforehand in creative. New. The Assertive Acquisitions Skywarp is entirely designed in survival. That's why it took so long. It was a slow process. Okay, now I need to make the inside of this so that I can match the door properly. Kazuma, not the first time, but I think the first time I did it well. I think it was the first time I did external design first, then filled it, and it actually ended up looking like something that was roughly in my head at the beginning. Prior to that, whenever I'd done that, it had not quite ended up as well as I would have liked. Magic's the term we use here is garbologist, which gets shortened to Garbo. I don't think it's meant derogatorily. I've never used it that way anyway. Oh, speaking of Tonka trucks and things, there's a game I've had on my wish list, which I kind of want to have a look at. Not because I think it's going to be a good game, but just because I'm so curious as to how it handles the voxelization of dirt and digging and stuff. Just trying to find it. Out of Ore. Have any of you guys tried this? Does it actually do the digging stuff properly, or is it all just faked? Because it looks like you do some proper voxelization of stuff. So I kind of want to try and mess with it because it looks like some of the equipment could be fun. It's kind of like I wish SnowRunner had this. Mining sim? Yeah, it looks like it's a mining sim. But mining, I think there is a mining simulator, like a game that actually has that name, but it doesn't seem to do as much as that one does. Yeah, maybe the next time I'm thinking of playing a random game, I might might crack that out. See what it's like. playing SnowRunner is like, as you load it up, you're dreaming, and then you actually get into the game and you wake up. That's how it feels. It's that disappointment of being in a delightful dream, but then reality punches you in the face with your alarm clock blaring. Roadcraft. Oh, I think I came across that one. Maybe. Oh, yeah. This is possibly SnowRunner, but yeah. I'll add that to my wish list. Keep an eye on it. It might actually have some, like, using cranes and stuff and actually repairing the things. But is that made by the same people? I think it might be, which makes me sad. It is made by the same people. Disappoint. Disappoint. That means the multiplayer will be rubbish. Because I guarantee they'll use the same methods they do and it'll be terrible. I have zero faith that that will be anything but SnowRunner, MudRunner, and all the same problems brought with it. Yeah, Taz, I played Mars First Logistics with Capac at PAX. That's how we found out about it when we first played it. It's not something I'm ever likely to play on stream, but it's a fun little Lego challenge build type game. I'd certainly recommend having a look at Capac's playthrough of it if you're uncertain about it. Pretty sure he did upload those ones to YouTube. Yeah, maybe if I tried that Roadcraft game, I should not play multiplayer. Just play it single player. So that I can get away from a lot of the worst bits of SnowRunner. Because no one is ever going to convince me that its multiplayer is anything but terrible. It just wasn't designed well. I'll do this. Can confirm it is terrible. Yeah, it's just... Yeah. They made some really strange game design decisions on top of the code base issues that they have. Because they have some bad netcode problems. But then they also have some bad design problems. That actively discourage genuine multiplayer. All right. Yeah, Steampunker, that sounds consistent with what Tex and Wasted experienced. I mean, they played it multiplayer long before I played it with them, or with Tex and Capac. And yeah, apparently they busted it big time when they added crossplay. Yeah, I decided to not put a lip on the back end here because that will make things get stuck. The lip around the other bit will be just fine, but yeah, that's why I deliberately left that bit clean. Mordred, I actually went back and looked at the VOD that I uploaded of Capac and I playing Cosmeteer, and wow, was that a weird stream. We were still so new to the concept of streaming or anything, and we had no idea what we were doing. And it is messy, awkward, it's just, yeah. It's the sort of thing that I can totally guarantee some people would remove as much as would try and scrub from the internet, but neither Capac nor I actually care to do such things. We played it, I want to say 2017? I haven't actually played it since then. That was when it was a free alpha. Cosmeteer has been, yeah. It was something I was aware of a long time ago. And was quite excited about what it could have been, and then just kind of just took too long for me. And by the time it came out, I sort of lost interest. Unfortunately, because I think it's got some solid aspects to it, but yeah. It just ended up kind of, it missed the boat. For me anyway. Oops. Alright. Oh, trusting you to find it, Ada. Yes, that is it. Oh, yes, that is it. It's... Yeah. Yeah. Look. Can't track Capac. There we go.
Oh.
I'm gonna core him like an apple.
Yep. He's gone.
Oh.
He's been spaced.
Yep. And Capac and I coming from separate channels, as in one left, one right, because the microphones we were using were going through my USB XLR interface, and Capac's mic was right, mine was left, and so yeah, there's some weirdness to it. There's some real weirdness to it. 2018. Oh wow, it was 2018. I thought it was older than that. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. But yes, there's a bit of older Capac and myself lore. Ah. So, speaking of random bits of lore, I wonder if my nephew will watch this. I kind of hope he does. Because I saw something on Reddit Someone asking whether they should buy Space Engineers. And in their post, they were like, I think one of my friends' uncle is Splitsy. And I'm like, yeah, that's potentially true. Which is kind of funny. An unexpected way to see myself referenced. I've done this wrong. I've done that wrong. How am I going to do this? Oh. Actually, maybe that will be okay? Because it does look like this whole thing is actually bigger in all dimensions. Anyway, see how it looks from a distance. No. Okay. So what I was thinking is I probably want to have the lip still be present on this trailer back, so I probably want to do this as I come down. Different position to the rest of the truck, but it's also different to the little lip. So I think doing it the way I was doing it removes some detail that's actually kind of nice. Oh no. Why? Oh, I know why. Okay. What do I call this? Compactor. So it's currently at 0. It should go up, I think. Only. So we'll go 0. I'm going to copy paste all those. It's funny going back to some of that older stuff and realizing just how awful our microphones were. And there's just so much there. And tailgate hinges. Save. Reverse and wiggle on off. And now I won't accidentally click on the wrong bit. Oh, right. Turning them off. That doesn't work. Unless I also increase the braking torque. Eek. So, I'm curious about this. How many of you guys actually... How many of you guys build your stuff in Space Engineers in creative mode first? Or... I'm assuming most of the people who watch are going to be somewhat similar to me and play survival mainly and occasionally build in creative. Or are you guys actually... Or have I got that wrong? Not I. Bit of both creative and survival. 50-50, depends on the mood. Rarely building creative. There's creative mode in SE. Half-half, more survival. Building survival unless it's capital ships. Yeah, I can understand that rationale. Survival 99%. All survival. Mainly survival. Just steal your things. I'm presuming you mean assertive ACS style things in that context. Can't think of anything in building creative. Rarely building creative. Almost never building creative unless I'm trying to make it look a specific way. Yeah. From the comments, that don't pre-building creative for survival but use creative a lot. It's interesting because I've heard, like, I've read a lot of comments on Reddit from people who do seem to build in creative first for survival. They do the design work entirely in creative. And I just never really been someone who did that. And surprised me. And it just kind of makes me wonder with Keen releasing SE2 in the state it's in, how it's gonna go. If I have an idea for a ship, I'll build it in creative. If I need a ship to do something in survival, I build in that survival save. Yeah? Make sense? Expect to use the launch version in SE2 to just see what it can do, or what you can do. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'll end up doing as well, is just like poking around, seeing what's possible. Seeing if there's anything possible that surprises me as well. Yeah, Mordred, I'm a little sad that we don't have hinges, pistons, rotors. I'm hoping they add something else to that menu eventually, because having a spring would be amazing. Some sort of compressible piston type thing would be fantastic. Like, imagine being able to build your own custom suspension rigs because you've got a compressible spring. I hope they add something like that. And yeah, those are also the things that I've always, that I've been more likely to test in creative. The things that might explode. The pistons, the rotors, the subgrids. Okay, how in the heck do I do this? This is going to be an interesting shape, I think. I'm not sure I'm going to like my first iteration of it. I have no desire to play SE2 until they add survival. Creative without subgrids doesn't have a gameplay loop that interests me. Still picking up to mess around with the new stuff, and because I know all the stuff I want will be added later. Yeah, you know, my general feeling on that side of things is, if you feel like you're happy to buy SE2 at a stage where it doesn't have the stuff you want, knowing that it may never get them, because, you know, what if something happens with Keen and they don't finish the project? I don't expect that to be the case, but I have brought up before just how many bad outcomes have happened when I've pre-purchased something and pre-ordered. Like, thankfully Keen have a very different corporate structure to the worst examples of that from recent memory. So hopefully that will protect us from most of the worst outcomes. I was really excited for KSP2 from a number of perspectives. I hadn't really followed the development though, so I wasn't really familiar with anything that would have made me go, ooh. I do remember a couple of annoying things for people who'd signed up to their creator thing, which I did not, where they didn't get access to the game until after the launch. It was like delayed access for people who were supposed to be making content for the game, which was so weird. Because I bought it myself. I paid for it. Did not get the KSP2 key for free. What's the new one? KSA? Yeah. Working title of Kitten Space Agency. I don't know whether I'm happy with that. This is going to be a very slow thing to build. Do not enjoy doing these sorts of compound curves and trying to make them look good. So rarely works out the way I hope it will. Kitten Space Agency, they knock things off a flat Earth. Yeah. The thing that makes me hopeful for KSA, or whatever it ends up being called, is also the thing that makes me a little worried about it. I have mixed feelings on I'm hopeful, given Stationeers has a clear aesthetic design, that this won't be a problem. But there's always that fear that they'll miss the mark on what made Kerbals fun as astronauts. Because that's important too, but they're getting all the physics and stuff sorted and making sure that side of things works properly before they focus on those sorts of things. Which I think feels like the right call, but also it's like, oh, I really want to see evidence that you've got the other bits done as well, but I can understand why that is not a priority. It's a desire on my end, but it's not a priority. You don't want to launch a screaming kitten into the sun? I just... I don't have any issue with cats. But, eh. That's kind of how I feel when I think about having cats as the thing. It's like, eh. Couldn't there be something better? But I don't think they've even remotely settled on what the astronaut might be. Like, I don't think dogs would be any better, and I'm very much a dog person. I'm an animal person, but dogs at the top of that list. But I still wouldn't want dogs either. I kind of like the idea of them using something a little more alien, but still vaguely familiar, like tardigrades. Or something vaguely modeled off that sort of chunky body aesthetic. Capybaras, yeah, something like that it kind of anything that's at its start point already meets a lot of the stereotypical cute aesthetics, I think is probably, to me, feels like a better start point. I think I'm actually getting this right, surprisingly. Muppets. Then you have to get the Muppets' humor right, and ooh, that's tricky. Yeah, I saw a thing saying that the KSP IP license had been bought, but it wasn't bought by Rocketworks as far as I can tell. I don't feel like that's something that they would be shy about. Space drop bears. I don't think they're going to be going for combat. If you got space drop bears, you probably need combat. Can't have drop bears without fighting. Just feels wrong. Hope. Half a block wrong. Nuts. Oh wait, no. Got my scale all out of whack. That should be makeable with this, right? One of these. Yeah. Doesn't Disney own the Muppets? Oh. Disney likes money, so if they thought they could make money, I'm not sure it'd be all that hard. The trick is convincing them that they'd make money. I think that. My best bet. It's a pity. I was doing so well, and that's the only corner that's wrong. Not sure how else I can do it. There you go, there's your Minecraft villager. Yeah, I think we can just go flat at the back now. There we go. That all came together a bit quicker than I was anticipating. This back end bit. Not too shabby. Can you fake the side pistons? Not really. They would have to actually be doing a thing. Like they'd have to really do the work. And I think the space I'd need, especially with the shape of this being the 2x1 slopes, the pistons would end up being like out here and going all the way up to here. So that the chunkiness of this stuff up the top, I think would end up kind of looking a bit wrong. Am I going to build a to scale neighborhood for going around and picking the garbage up? I thought about at least building something that looks like a suburban street with, you know, a footpath and a curb and stuff, but I'm not sure how much performance I'll have left once the truck is done. I'm not sure how much room there'll be left for doing that. Just kind of looking at this and trying to think of what other details I can add. I think I might be able to get the little ladder in here that folds down, or that sort of sits in there, maybe? But I think it's going to need to be on a rotor so I can get the slightly off angle. Let's see if this drives, now that it's a lot heavier. Alright. Still drives okay. Not too bad at all. This next series of Space Engineers version of Grounded. Oh no, we're about to roll. That's a little uncomfortable. Relative to the scale of the truck, I don't think I am speeding. That's the thing. It's hard to work out what the actual speed of this would be. I can probably roughly work it out if I have like a marker and I estimate the length of the truck. Works really well. Now, I need to switch out the color of this thing from being yellow and make it white. And I'll need to add some extra detailing to it as well, I think. Actually, the pistons probably want to be grey. I might make this middle part grey, and then I'll make the rest white. Maybe that. And this bit goes grey too. Yeah. No, Raptor, that's not right. In this context. So the reason calculating speed for this truck is tricky is because this truck does not follow the scale rules of Space Engineers. So this truck covering a meter at its scale is probably about, let's see. A meter is probably to about here, which is 7.5 meters in game. So you want to divide any of the speed that the truck is doing by 7.5, and that gets speed at its scale. So if I'm doing... What was I doing? I was doing like 30, 40 meters a second? I think that was about the top speed I was managing. Yeah, so 45. So 45 divided by 7.5 gives us 6 meters a second. So it's like 21 kilometers an hour. 21, 22. So it's going pretty slowly. My maths might have been slightly wrong there. I'm not sure. But it's not going quick by the whole scale of the thing. One of the big reasons it's really tip heavy is I've got the suspension super rigid. So there's just no give on that suspension. But yeah, it is also very top heavy. I mean, it's just quite heavy. It's 500,000. It's 641,000 tons. So, sorry, 641 tons. And almost all of that is well above the wheelbase. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that progress today. I'm not sure when I'll come back to this, but it's one of those things I will come back to. I'm going to wrap up here, but I'll be back here on Twitch tomorrow because Wrong Way Out is not being a thing this week. As people are away and things like that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do tomorrow, so it'll be a surprise, but I'll be here tomorrow. I'm also going to try and work on getting my next economy video out, but I've been struggling with it because being in my shed while it's been hot with all these blisters on my hands and feet and face and tongue and stuff has not been fun. So I've been struggling to get much stuff done in the afternoons. Hopefully today will be a bit better, and if not, tomorrow will be a lot better. So yeah, there's all that and plenty more to come, and I will see you then.